Hello ladies and gents, this is another video brought to you by Ants Hood. And this is going to be the video about the New Year's New Dreams that I tend to do for the New Year's Eve, but obviously with my accident and my arms falling off, I obviously couldn't do the video, so I'm doing it now. And oh yeah, check out the new logo, which yet again was squared away for me by the Colonialist. He's another YouTuber. We get on really well, obviously, because he's done my logos for me. Check out his link in the description as always, guys. Go over to his channel, like and subscribe. Decent bloke. I suppose we have to talk about the past year and what a car crash has absolutely been. COVID was everywhere, but saying that if it wasn't for COVID I wouldn't have started this channel, but still affected everybody. You forget what everyone looks like because you don't see them without a face mask, and generally the past year has just been a giant car crash. But let's talk about my ants. So as you guys know, my channel's only 6 months old, but I've had some proper lows in those 6 months, being mainly what you see on the screen now, my honeypot ants. I won't lie, I was devastated. I've wanted these for so long, since watching Empire of the Desert Ants, I think it was. They were just awesome ants, so interesting with the repletes and stuff like that, and I killed them. Now I put a link to the top right corner when I got my 100 subscribes. It timed it perfectly for these arrival. It was such an exciting time for me. Check out the video in the top right corner. And then disaster. I messed up in a big way and I got really upset by it, and the video of me trying to save him after I noticed my disastrous mistake is in the top right now as well. Watch it. I'm not going to go over it too much in this because there'll be no point, but I was upset. Probably the most second biggest disaster of my past 6 months has probably been my Carabera Diversa. Now I love these ants, I've always wanted them, really look forward to finally getting them, and I did a video which I'll link in the top right corner now about them, and I was so excited. And surprisingly, this video was surprisingly popular on my channel as well, so I was really keen for these. Now in the video I did explain that they dropped off in numbers quite sharply while I was in the test tube. Now I attributed to that fact that they needed to go into a natural habitat where the humidity's high and stuff like that, so I was a bit delayed, I think 17 days if memory serves, about getting them into a naturalistic setup. And as soon as I put them in there, I thought, I think there's enough workers, they should be fine, but I was wrong. I think I shown in my last video, I can't quite remember, that one of the queens was acting strange and being all weird. She eventually died. Kind of expected that, to be fair. Then unexpectedly the second queen died, and then within like literally overnight I had nothing left, no workers or anything. Now I thought I left it too late to put them into a natural setup, but watching this video, which is on the original film, I don't think I was at fault. Now right at the start of that last footage I've slowed it right down, but you can just see here there's something on that ant. Now this is what caught my eye. I don't normally edit my videos on my iPad, I normally do it on my phone, but I moved to my iPad for whatever reason, which means the image is blown up, and it was clear as day to me. As soon as I noticed it, I was like, what the hell was that? Now that's one. It might just be one, it might be nothing to it, but it's definitely a mite, because as it moves around you see it's got legs, it's attached to the ant, so I know full well it's a mite. Now there is other examples and I'll show you them now. Now these two are slightly out of focus, but you can see that they've got something on their heads. Now I think it's mites because yes, they're out of focus, but they don't move with the light. They stay still, stationary on their head, so it's what makes me think that these are mites as well. But just so you know, about any shadow of a doubt, I've got a clear as day picture of a mite on this ant's head here. It's moving with it, it's not changing direction, and it's clearly a bump on its head. Clearly a mite. So rather than me messing up, for a change to be fair, I think that this colony was doomed from the start, because I didn't pick up with my first video that these had got mites, and I could have dealt with something to deal with the mite situation, like put some predatory mites in there to kill them off and stuff like that, a bit like the Colonialist did and what the Ants Canada did as well. I could have done that, but I didn't pick up on it. The only reason I picked up on it today is because I'm on a big screen because I'm using my iPad, so I'm really disappointed in myself I didn't pick it up. Now I am glad that I've not reutilised that outworld yet, because I was planning on putting some ants in a more naturalistic setup in there, but now I know full well that I'm going to have to ditch that outworld because it's contaminated with mites. So I'm going to have to get rid of all the soil, wash the boundary, wash the stones in it, and then look at doing it again. Now don't worry, I am intending to get these ants again, and I am going to use the same supplier. Now none of my other ants have mites that I'm aware of, but I am going to check them all out after doing this video just to make sure, so I know that the ants came with the mites, as it were, because I've not cross-contaminated anything. All the stuff in there was brand new, so I know it's not from me. And bearing in mind these are still in the test tube, so it's only come from one place. I have contacted the supplier to let them know that I'm doing this video and I've identified those mites. I don't think I'm going to get any kind of refund. It would be nice, but it isn't going to happen, to be fair. But it is what it is. It's the hobby we do. Now I'm going to put some lighter news on because I've done that video to death for the Carabera. So here's my Nikko destroying a fluffy. You will get to see this video come out next week. I've done all the filming for it now. I was going to release it this weekend, but I thought I've not done my New Year review yet. So you're going to have to wait till next week to see this in detail. But don't worry about my Carabera or the Honeypots. I am going to get them again. Now, since I started this channel 6 months ago, I've noticed myself, I then started a binge of buying more exotic ants that were more difficult, rather than the easy staple that I always had, like such a Nikko, which you can see here, which are really easy to look after. Elagius nigers, which, by the way, they are native to England, common as muck, they're all over the place. You can pick them up on nuptial flights, super easy to look after, but they're just so much fun to keep. I've got loads of them and I'll keep keeping them because they're just so much fun and so forgiving as well. But anyway, I digress. So yeah, so now we're going to talk about the good stuff. Now the good stuff, my Nikko. I've had them just over a year now and I'm pushing 3,000. I'm not going to go into too much detail regarding them because I've got that video next week, but brilliant success story of mine, really happy. If you look in the top right now, I'll put a link to the Nikko's playlist so you can see them, what I've been getting up to them. But that's not the only thing I've ventured into this year with the exotic ants. I also did something else. I made a Bioactive Terrarium. And as you can see here from this picture, it's doing really well. And it really is. It's fully bioactive. I made it for my Polyrachus dive ants because they need a natural environment to weave in. So a naturalistic setup, so I thought I was going to go whole hog and make it a bioactive setup for them, and to tell you the truth, I really like it. I love it. As you can see here, I've got springtails, and that's a baby wood lice, which shows they're reproducing, which is great news because there was no babies when I first put them in there. So everything's doing really well. I'm really pleased with it. I've got videos in the top right corner, check it out now. The only thing that I have found difficult with them though is that they will not move out of their old outworld. Their old outworld's up above next to the Defiant on the shelf, and I've had to keep it connected because they will not move out of it for love nor money. I have dried that out, I've taken it off the heat, but they will not move out. And because of that, it's kind of difficult to gauge how well they're doing in there. But I have very much bursts with them. Sometimes I don't see hardly any of them, and then sometimes I see loads. But what I need to remember is it's a 3D environment, this. They're not only in their nest, which by the way they dug as well, and didn't think Polyrachus dives dig, but they blatantly do, and they dug underneath a nest into it, as well as weaved on the surface. But it's 3D environment, I can't always see them. Not that they've got 2 nests now, so I've got no idea how well they're doing in there, but I always see them cutting around, so they must be doing okay. And guess what old man Santa Claus bought me? 3D printer. Now I didn't know what I wanted for Christmas. My missus was asking me what do I want. I was like, well, I don't want anything, but I tell you what I wouldn't mind was a 3D printer, so she got me one. Now let's look at my Nikkos while I talk about my 3D printing. You might ask yourself, why did I want a 3D printer? I'm an advocate of 3D printed nests are rubbish. Let me explain. First off, I wanted to make some feeding trays. Now I've done the feeding trays to fit with the Biformica jars because they supply 6 of them, 6 trays and 1,000 jars. I've got 12 trays and I still run out, so I wanted more. And I tried, for love nor money, to try and get some of the trays, just the trays, on the cheap, and I couldn't. So I've designed my own. I'm thinking about selling them. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. Maybe I'll put them on eBay, who knows. Now this image isn't the finished product, it was just a progression that I made along, but it's just for illustration so you know what I'm talking about. Now you guys are going to love this bit. I'm actually thinking about making nests as well. Well, I'm not thinking about it, I've done it. I'm designing a nest. Now I'm designing a nest for my own specifications for what I want. Now you might be thinking, whoa Hood, you hypocrite. You tell me you hate 3D printed stuff, nests. And you're right, I do. Now Ant's Hut, don't forget, always get his name confused. Ant's Hut, check out his website in my description by the way. Love his stuff, and he kind of like edged me towards like maybe 3D printed stuff isn't as bad as I think it is, but equally they have a nasty tendency to absorb too much moisture, and they're not the greatest. But if I take high-tech ant stuff, for example, where it's like 70 quid for a complete setup, 80 quid for a complete setup, nest maybe about £25 or something, I can't quite remember off the top of my head, then if that falls to pieces after a period of time, I'm going to be disappointed, especially if I've not got the wear and tear out of it that I wanted. Like, don't forget, I did a video on it, warping, which was covered in my product review, if you check out the playlist in the top right corner now. And there lies half my issue, is if I start making stuff to sell it, then I can't really do product review videos anymore. I mean, I could still do Outworlds and stuff like that, but if I start reviewing nests, I think it's a bit hypocritical, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. But saying that though, making my own nest and selling my own nest is two completely different things. I'm not even sure if I'm going to sell them, to be honest. I mean, what are your thoughts, guys? Leave a comment, let me know if you think it's a good idea to make the nests or not. I mean, I'm probably going to do the trays, to be honest, just because I know how much of a nightmare it was to get the Biformica replacement trays. In fact, it wasn't a nightmare, it was non-existent and I couldn't find any and I couldn't get any. So I'm thinking about selling them with bottles and without bottles to go with it as well. I'm probably going to look at selling them on eBay and on Facebook and stuff like that. I'm not doing anything fancy pants on my own website. I'm probably barking up the wrong tree here. What do you guys think? Is it worth a go? Should I not bother? Let me know what your thoughts are. But that's it for today then, guys. But I do have to say a big thank you to you. This channel's 6 months old and I've got something like 235 subscribers, and that's you guys, and I'm amazed that anybody wants to listen to me, never mind 235 of you that want to see my regular updates. So thank you guys. I owe the Colonialist a big thanks because he's helped me with my channel, he's helped me with this logo, and when I broke my arms, they're still broken to be fair, and I'm still in the recovery process, hence why I've not got too many fancy pants shots going on in this video, but he did a little video for me, so I had one more before the end of the year. So a big thank you for the Colonialist. I'm really looking forward to doing this Spotify thing with you going forward, but most of all, guys, thank you guys and my fans, and I really appreciate it. So happy new year, got some good stuff coming up next year, and don't forget to leave a comment about what you think about this video and what my ideas. Bye bye for now.